Chapter 29, The Last Day on Earth. The morning of the winter solstice began with an odd heaviness for Sunny. Even after waking, he remained under the covers for a while, wrapped in warmth but weighed down by an overwhelming drowsiness that clung to him like fog. No matter how he tried, it wouldn't go away. He recognized the feeling well. It was the same kind of sluggish lethargy he'd felt before his first nightmare, and also eerily similar to the numb chill of near death he experienced on the icy slopes of the Black Mountain. That memory made him shudder. Today was significant. It marked his last day on Earth for some time. Tonight, the spell would activate, pulling him once again into the strange, perilous realm of dreams. What awaited him in that broken, mystical world? A fortunate path? Or another calamity? Ugh! Sunny muttered to himself. There was no point dwelling on uncertainties. He had trained relentlessly, studied everything he could, and never let his true abilities slip. His aspect was potent, his survival instinct sharpened by a life of hardship and trauma. He was as ready as he could ever be. With a resigned sigh, he climbed out of bed and began his usual routine. If this was his final chance to enjoy a hot shower, he planned to savor it. The same went for breakfast, though when the time came, he couldn't stomach much of anything. The cafeteria buzzed with quiet tension. Sleepers sat together, but unlike other days, laughter and conversation were absent. Everyone seemed withdrawn, locked in their own thoughts. Only the legacies appeared composed, though even they seemed subdued, keeping to themselves. Sunny's thoughts drifted to the first time he'd prepared to face the spell. That unsettling mixture of fear and anticipation still lingered in his bones. Moving toward the coffee machine, he recalled how many students sweetened their coffee with milk and sugar. On this solemn day, he decided to follow suit. Might as well mark the day with some kind of small tradition. Coffee in hand, he took his usual spot near Kasia, the blind girl. Though they often ended up sitting near one another, they'd never spoken. There had never been a reason to. But today, something strange happened. As he took his first sip, Kasia suddenly turned her head toward him, her pale blue eyes staring into nothing, or perhaps into something he couldn't see. Startled, Sunny glanced over his shoulder, assuming someone else had caught her attention. Finding no one there, he looked back at her, puzzled. What? Kasia was silent for a moment, as if weighing her words. Then, in a calm and hauntingly soft voice, she said, "Happy birthday." Sunny blinked. What? His brow furrowed in confusion, and then it hit him. Of course, it was his birthday. He had turned 17 today. But how the hell did she know? He stared at her, mouth half open, wanting to ask, but then decided against it. She was just too weird. "Thanks," he muttered awkwardly. Kasia simply nodded and turned away, returning to her silent stillness, probably for the best. Sunny returned to his drink. To his surprise, the coffee wasn't awful, thanks mostly to the milk and sugar. It even helped shake off some of that sleepy fog that clung to him. 17, huh? He never expected to make it this far. Yet here he was, alive, awake, and drinking actual coffee with real milk and sugar. Life really was full of surprises. Briefly, memories of long-forgotten birthdays flickered in his mind. Before the mood could turn sour, he forced the thoughts away and smiled faintly. "Not bad. Let's do this again next year." As an awakening, he finished the coffee and left. There were no lessons that day, but he made a point to visit teacher Julius. The veteran instructor was uncharacteristically emotional, sharing a dozen last-minute tips, and even promising to apply for a research assistant position once Sunny ascended. The gesture warmed Sunny's heart. He thanked the man sincerely for everything. Then came the waiting. As dusk neared, Instructor Rock gathered the sleepers in the center's main hall and led them out into the snow-covered park that encircled the white building. All around them, other groups of sleepers were being led to the same destination, the Academy's medical facility. From the outside, it resembled a serene shrine more than a hospital. Inside, it combined cutting-edge tech with the mystical abilities of top-tier awakened healers. While the sleepers' minds would venture into the dream realm, their physical bodies would remain here, protected in specially designed pods. anything went wrong in that other world, the healers would do what they could to keep them alive. Of course, survival still depended entirely on the sleepers themselves. But instead of taking them directly to the pod chambers, Instructor Rock guided them to a quiet upper floor. There, bathed in the warm glow of the setting sun, was a spacious gallery lined with wheelchairs. In each sat a person, motionless, expressionless, eerily serene. Their eyes were vacant, their presence a hollow. A chill crept up Sunny's spine. "These people," Instructor Rock said, his voice low and firm, "are what we call the Hollow." He paused. "They were once sleepers and awakened like you. Some weak, some strong, some even exceptionally powerful. All of them lost in the dream realm." Sunny stared in horror. Their souls were gone. If you were lucky, death came swiftly. If not, you ended up like them. An empty shell. Instructor Rock's gaze shifted toward Nephice and Castor. "So don't die out there." Half an hour later, the sleepers were led to their rooms, each preparing to enter their assigned pod. In one chamber, Kasha felt her way through the unfamiliar space, her delicate hands brushing over strange equipment. Silent tears rolled down her cheeks. Elsewhere, Castor sat on the edge of his pod, staring at the floor, whispering the same phrase to himself again and again, body trembling. In another room, Nephice stood motionless, eyes fixed on her glowing hands. Her expression was tight with pain, radiant light growing steadily beneath her skin. And in a quiet chamber of his own, Sunny, shadow slave, sunless, the lost from light, looked down at the dark silhouette stretching beside him. "Ready?" The shadow gave no answer, only a slight shrug. Sunny smiled faintly. "Yeah, me too." He stepped forward and climbed into the pod. In the vast, quiet dark, a voice whispered, "Welcome to the dream realm, Sunless."